Hey everyone, welcome back to another video with Ricky the RBT. I've already made a video about some things to consider when searching for your future ABA graduate program. In today's video, I want to give you 5 tips on how to succeed in your future or current graduate program. So, everyone's experience in grad school is different. Based on different things, your experience can vary. How easy or hard the academic work is varies. How boring or fun your experience is in graduate school varies. So today, I want you to pull out your pen and pad so I can give you 5 general tips on how to maximize your experience in your future or current graduate program. Tip number 1, find study buddies or find a study group. So how it worked for me when I was in graduate school was there was always one particular person or a few people that will send out a GroupMe link. Now, GroupMe is an app where you can make different group chats. It doesn't matter what phone you have, whether you have an Android or an iPhone, everyone can kind of join the GroupMe app. And if they access the link that is sent out, then everyone is a part of the same group. So in this group chat, this is where we were able to bounce ideas off of each other. We were able to vent to one another because things get difficult in grad school. You always need someone to vent to, especially to people that already understand. If we need any assistance, then we can ask the group chat. If we need any clarity, then we can ask the group chat. Because in all honesty, ABA is very hard to understand on your own. The terminology can be dense, it can be a lot. And so learning it on your own can, in all honesty, be a lot. So having someone, again, that you can ask questions to, someone that can give you feedback, someone that can give you their opinion is great while you're in your graduate program. Also working in a field, but having someone that you can talk to one-on-one, you guys are at kind of like similar levels while you're in graduate school. You don't have to rely on just emailing your teacher, which is also a great resource, but you don't have to rely solely on emailing your teacher. So make sure that you can have someone that can help you while you're going through your graduate program that's also in your graduate program, or see if there's a study group available for you to have access to while you're in your graduate program. Tip number 2 is time management. So I know when you hear time management, it sounds cliche, but it is very important to manage your time effectively. So the significance of managing your time effectively is so one, you're able to do your work in a reasonable amount of time, but also you're able to live your life. You don't have to just focus solely on school. You would dedicate time to your family, dedicate time to your friends, dedicate times to things that you want to dedicate time to, and it's not you just always drowning in your studies all of the time. So how you can go about managing your time better is experimenting with different apps, experimenting with different note-taking apps, experimenting with different calendar apps, experimenting with different productivity apps. So experimenting with these different apps leads me into tip number 3, organization. Now again, organization, something that sounds so cliche, but it is so important while you're in your graduate program. So personally, after grad school is where I really started experimenting with different apps when I started working as a behavior analyst. But while I was in graduate school, the number 1 app that I used was Google Drive and everything that was associated with Google Apps. So I used Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Calendar. Those are the only 3 that I can think of right now. But Google Apps and Google Sheets were my main 2, and Google Slides. The only reason I specifically used Google was because I wanted to be able to access all of my documents from different devices. Now, I could have done that with my iPhone through iCloud, but I only had so much space. With Google Drive, they gave me 15 gigabytes, and so I was able to utilize those gigabytes how I wanted to. So in my Google Drive, I had a digital calendar. I also had a physical calendar. I had an actual agenda that I kept on my person, but I had a digital calendar that I updated on a weekly basis. So I want to talk about my digital calendar a little bit. And so I'll have it here on the screen. And so how I would use my digital calendar is assignments were due every Sunday. And so new assignments would open up on Sundays as well. And so I would dedicate Sundays to updating my calendar. And so I would look at all the readings, all the assignments that will fall up under that. And so there were certain days where I would read specifically for these particular classes, and then other days I wouldn't do anything else. And then the next day I would read for the other classes, and then I would start assignments for the last 2 classes, because I was typically doing 3 or 4 classes at a time. And so that was just so I wasn't reading for all of my classes on the same day, draining my brain, being extremely frustrated with the fact that I'm sitting in one spot for the next 3 or 4 hours reading for different classes. And so again, so like Monday, I would read for these classes. Tuesday, I would read for the next 2 classes. But the first 2 classes that I read for, I would start doing an outline for the discussion post on the next day. And so it's just like each day was dedicated to certain classes, just so I didn't find myself trying to do assignments associated with all of my classes on one day. And I was doing this every single day. But as you can see here on my calendar, everything was just kind of broken down just to help me organize how I was going to dedicate my time to each class. So all that's to say, organization is your friend. Whatever organization looks like for you, most definitely figure it out and apply it to your everyday when you're in your graduate program. Organize your classes, organize your time, manage your time, and time management and organization, they just go hand in hand. So my advice to you is to organize your documents, organize all of the assignments that are associated with those classes, and try to figure out a cadence that works for you. If you're able to do all of your assignments and readings, everything in one day, be my guest. But just make sure that you know what assignments and what readings you're going to do every single day. And this schedule was not set, and this calendar was not set in stone. So it changed a lot. So there would be certain readings that I would try to do on Monday, and I'm just like, I want to push it to Tuesday, or I want to push it to Wednesday. And I would constantly adjust my calendar. So please don't feel like this is perfect and this is super difficult because he must be some type of brainiac. No, I would adjust my calendar honestly throughout the week, because there are days where I'm just like, I don't want to read 4 chapters in a row. So maybe I'll just read 2, and then I'll read the other 2 on Wednesday, and then I'll start my outline for the discussion post on Thursday, and so on and so forth. So it definitely was not set in stone. It was very flexible. Tip number 4 is self-care. So what self-care looks like for you may look totally different for me. What self-care looks like for me looks totally different for you. So whatever self-care looks like for you, definitely dedicate a day to how you want to take care of yourself. So for me, I would designate a day off. That day off would typically be on Saturdays. As you've seen on my calendar, there was red across Saturdays, indicating to me that there's no homework, there's no assignments to be done on Saturday. Now, the caveat to that is I was not able to actually enjoy my day off if I did not actually follow my calendar, if I did not actually follow my agenda. If I didn't actually get my assignments done, if I didn't get my readings done, then those things would kind of linger in my head on Saturdays, and I would feel like maybe I should stop what I'm doing just to finish those assignments so I can fully enjoy my day off. And so to avoid that, I made sure that I managed my time and I organized myself as much as possible. So leading up to Saturday, I was able to fully enjoy my day off. So that is tip number 4, self-care. It is super important to continue to take care of yourself while you're in your graduate program. And last but not least, tip number 5, self-motivation. So with a postgraduate program, it's different from undergrad, where scholarships may not be as readily available, grants may not be as readily available, so you may be coming out of pocket more often, or you may be taking out loans, financial aid, so on and so forth. And so again, money is coming out of pocket. parents may not be as involved, friends may not be as involved because they may not understand what degree you're going for after you've gotten your undergraduate degree, especially if you're first generation. So with all of that, you kind of have to be your biggest supporter. You have to be your biggest motivator, reminding yourself that you've made it to this point for a reason. You didn't get here by luck. There may have been some luck associated with it, but you didn't get here by luck. You didn't get here by chance. You got here because of the work that you put in. You know, the application that you put in, the personal statement, your resume, so on and so forth. Someone looked at all of those details about you and they said, this person would be a good fit for this program. And so that is why you're in your program. That is why you're going to be in your future graduate program. And so remind yourself of that on those tough days where you're drowning in reading, you're drowning in assignments, you're drowning, there's a quiz coming up, there's a test coming up. Take a deep breath and remind yourself you're meant to be here, right? You're meant to be there. Ultimately, you have to be your biggest motivator. Again, if you're a first generation, then after you've received your undergraduate degree, when you go for that postgraduate degree, a lot of times your family, your friends don't fully understand why you're pursuing or what you're pursuing. And then as far as applied behavior analysis, this is a very small field that's growing, but a lot of people don't know about applied behavior analysis. And so when you start throwing those acronyms at people, they're going to be like, I don't know what this guy or this girl is talking about. So good luck, right? And so you may find yourself kind of alone on that island, but just remind yourself you deserve to be where you're at, and all those small wins that you take, celebrate them. The big wins, obviously, celebrate those as well, but celebrate those small wins. Again, when you take those quizzes and you think you're going to fail, but you get a passing grade, go get yourself something nice or take a break. The reading that you didn't think you were going to finish, you finished it, right? Give yourself a pat on the back. The writing that you thought was never ending, it ended. So give yourself a pat on the back, right? Every small win that you take, give yourself a pat on the back, because you're going to find yourself being your biggest supporter, being your biggest motivator. So continue to motivate yourself, continue to support yourself, and you have a supporter in me. So those are my 5 tips to succeed in your graduate program. If you took any notes during this video, please leave me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell so you're notified every time a new video is uploaded. Comment below and let me know what graduate program you're going to be attending or what graduate program you're currently attending. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.